Ever since the 1980s, the Final Fantasy series has showered us not just with ever-evolving battle systems, graphics, and beautiful soundtracks, but with fresh new worlds to discover with each new title too. Despite the common factors between each game, Squaresoft, and later Square Enix, has managed to create unique locations that are completely distinct from both prior and future titles. Every world is fully fleshed out with histories and cultures not found in other games, and that extends to places you don't even have to visit. I'm Jack from EXP Required, and today we'll be taking a look at 7 optional locations across Final Fantasy. Beware of spoilers for the following games. While the first 2 games in the series made bold attempts to make an otherwise very linear experience seem sprawling, with massive lands to traverse, it was FF3 that really fleshed out the world for the first time. Your first indication that something is different is after you first step onto an airship and see what appears to be monsters lurking on the world map. The floating continent itself is like a dense starting area, but the full scope of the world is revealed when you leave it to find a world covered by water. Sometime after putting the proverbial plug, we're given access to the Nautilus, a ship later enchanted to travel underwater. There's plenty of treasure to be found with this vessel, but to us, the best of all is the hidden Doga's village. Surrounded by mountains, you'll likely have seen it flying around, but not been able to access it until now. Doga itself is populated by black mages who sell you some of the most powerful spells in the game, as well as Ifrit, Shiva, Titan, and Ramuh. Of course, these faces are well known now, but this was the first appearance in the series proper. Hard to believe we once had to go digging for them. The only town in FF5 not to be represented by an icon on the world map, this secluded location was compressed in time long before Ultimecia made it cool. The Phantom Village can only be accessed in the merged world, the original state of the world before the void was sealed away. Located deep in a forest, finding it without a guide was the pinnacle of exploration once upon a time. Much like Best Boy Gilgamesh, the village itself exists trapped within the interdimensional rift, straddling the very fabric of reality. Terrifyingly, the villagers within are aware of their predicament, with 1,000 of their years passing with every day of ours. As a late game location, it's only natural that we can buy some fantastic items here, but the real prize is finding the hidden second merchant in every store who all sell rare goods. This is also where the world's final piano can be found, letting your bards learn the stat increasing song Hero's Rhyme. Finally, and best of all, it's where we gain access to the legendary Black Chocobo, who we could have sworn we've seen before. Time and again we come back to the world of Ruin, but its very existence is so pivotal in our opinion that we can't help it. This time we're looking at the Cultist's Tower, where you can find Strago once Celes sets out on her quest to find her comrades again. We never quite find out how, but he's been brainwashed into joining Kefka's cult, and the only way to set him straight is by setting his granddaughter Realm on him. God have mercy on the poor man, cause she certainly won't. Like many towers before it, the treasures within get better as you climb, and dedicated adventurers can bag themselves the Soul of Tomasa at the very top, which allows the party to dual cast their magic, if you survive that is. A dungeon unique to the second half of the game, it's a chilling reminder that seemingly unredeemable people will always have their followers, but also that with hard work and a great team, anything is possible. Oh, and that you should expect dragons in the least likely places. Duh. Previously, we've looked at locations where there's really only one thing to do: buy stuff or fight. FF7 isn't the first title that introduces optional characters or content by far, but we think it's the first that really nailed it. Getting there can be done the moment you unlock the tiny Bronco, though the local wildlife might give you a hard time, and if you've picked up a Ninja Yuffie somewhere along the way, you won't be leaving anytime soon, as she steals all your materia. Yes, even that one. Trying to recover your stuff goes horribly wrong, as everyone's favourite pest, Don Corneo, makes a reappearance, and the party forges a temporary alliance with the Turks to bring him down, but probably not the way he wanted. Not everyone will have made the time to add Yuffie to the party, but we think Wutai acts as a great vehicle for her, admittedly short-lived, character development. Coming back later and seeing her take on the challenge of the pagoda and win is the perfect cherry on top. Oh come on, I'm not giving it back to you. Tucked away as north as you can get is a structure the story of FF8 never points you towards. A dome with the world's only paid draw points, and an elevator that takes you 323 meters underground for free if the draw point put you off. Deep below is a peaceful village where the only sounds are insects and your own footsteps, which in any other scenario would be terrifying. Thankfully, the village isn't abandoned. A humanoid race called the Shumi live here, and we quickly learn that the so far unseen Laguna was once nursed back to health here. Just how many times did that man fall off a cliff? Though the Shumi aren't exactly numerous, what few of them we meet are artisans, with one even building a statue of Laguna. We take it upon ourselves to hunt down materials for the mason to finish his work, and walk away having seen a different side of things. Unlike his kinsman Norg, the elder certainly didn't show his hand too early. We only wish we could tell Laguna to go back and visit them. We've mentioned previously that FF9's frequent throwbacks are well loved and don't overstay their welcome, but Daguerreo feels more like an homage to fantasy as a whole, nothing final about it. A sprawling library surrounded by waterways, even the lute-like music that plays is endlessly peaceful here, a vast contrast to the world outside. Untouched by war, we can even meet some familiar faces here who fled earlier conflicts. Best of all, a certain returning favourite can be challenged to cards here, but in order to find out who he is, be prepared to go hunting for a lot of treasure. Of course, any good hidden area worth its salt has plenty to offer players, and Daguerreo is no exception. It's here we can get started on the quest to obtain Excalibur, power up the Eidolon Leviathan, and even obtain some rare cards. Just don't wander outside for too long without any meows. Meow. We never thought we'd race somewhere home to Mulberries and Tomberries as anything other than downright inhospitable, but as it turns out, the Cavern of the Stolen Fayth might just be worth visiting. As the first proper detour we can take on the linear adventure of FF10, its existence allows us to delve deeper into Lulu's past, which she otherwise keeps carefully shrouded under a cold exterior. This isn't the first pilgrimage she's been on, and it's at the depths of the cavern that we find the unsent spirit of Lady Ginham, who promptly summons the samurai for hire, Yojimbo. Unlike other Aeons, Yojimbo won't join you right away, you're going to have to haggle for his services, but it's definitely worth it if you want to one-shot most late-game enemies. We know who you are. A foreboding area filled with purple clouds and fireflies, we can re-enter the chamber after obtaining Yojimbo to face his Dark Aeon counterpart, not once, not twice, but a whopping 5 times. Talk about a cloister of trials. So that was it in our list of optional locations in Final Fantasy. We know there are loads more, so let us know your favourite in the comments below. If you want to hear more Final Fantasy discussion, we also have our podcast link below. Thanks for watching and see you next time.